The issue with Emmerdale's Joe Tate is that he genuinely believes nothing can defeat him. Whenever he spots a chance to increase his fortune, Joe will do whatever it takes to secure it. If others suffer in the process, that's a price he's willing to accept. Although money is usually his driving force, Joe's darker nature also emerges when he feels threatened. Around a year ago, viewers learned that Joe required a kidney transplant, and he showed little concern for handling the situation in a moral way. At one stage, he became so desperate to find a compatible donor that he drugged Noah Dingle and transported him to a private clinic. When it was revealed that Noah wasn't suitable, Joe abandoned him at the roadside while he was still disoriented. Had that incident not occurred, Susie, Layla, and Amy may never have died in the limousine crash that followed. This time, Joe's ruthless streak has resurfaced because of Kim Tate's ambitious farming scheme. The powerful matriarch is determined to purchase all the land surrounding Home Farm and has enlisted Joe's support. However, his single-minded determination was disrupted a few weeks ago when Graham Foster shockingly returned from the dead. Graham made it clear he had come back for Joe and hoped to rebuild their bond, prompting Joe to offer him another opportunity. As Graham has been catching up on the past 6 years of Joe's life, he has experienced a flood of emotions with every significant revelation. When Joe spoke about his romance with Dawn Taylor, Graham was taken aback by the warmth in his voice. Once it became obvious that Joe truly treasures the family he has created at Home Farm, Graham was surprised by how much he has matured, though he was pleased for him all the same. Still, the land development plan Joe and Kim are pursuing is something Graham finds difficult to support. While Graham supports Joe's ambition to strengthen the Tate dynasty, he believes there are kinder and more ethical ways to achieve it. He has already voiced his disapproval over Joe exploiting Victoria Sugden and Moira Dingle, and in tonight's episode, he once again made his feelings about the scheme crystal clear. When Joe noticed Graham browsing rental properties, he became intrigued. Graham admitted he had been considering relocating and asked whether Joe would join him. He suggested Dawn, and the children could come too, offering them the chance to start over somewhere new. At present, Graham's concern is that Joe has spent excessive time under Kim's influence. He feels that distance from her might help Joe rediscover his true self. Graham firmly warned Joe that the authority he currently wields is toxic, and that if he doesn't pull back, it will ultimately transform him beyond recognition. Later, he informed Joe that he had chosen to remain in the village near his relatives, clearly determined to watch over him. Speculation about Graham potentially betraying Joe resurfaced this week when Kim caught him in conversation with Cain Dingle. Believing they were conspiring, Kim instructed Joe to test Graham's loyalty by asking him to carry out an inventory check at Butler's farm. Graham went to the farm, but decided to inform Cain about Joe's intentions, rather than deceive him. Aware that Cain is battling cancer, Graham actually feels sympathy towards him. Joe soon realized that Graham had been dishonest and was devastated by what he saw as a betrayal. Despite Kim's frustration, Graham refused to move out of Home Farm, secretly confident that Joe did not truly want him to leave. He told Joe that there are aspects of the situation he doesn't fully understand, yet he is unable to explain them. Is Graham secretly preparing to turn against Joe? Or could he be quietly scheming against Kim instead? A furious Cain completely loses his temper over Joe's newest scheme in Emmerdale. Once again, Joe Tate is sinking to new lows, especially now that he senses he's close to securing Butler's farm. This is a man who would even try to take his own brother's kidney if it meant saving himself, so it's hardly shocking that when victory is within reach, he'll stop at nothing. Even if that means sending an innocent woman to prison or attempting to swindle a terminally ill man out of his property. Joe has been eyeing Moira Dingle's farm for years, waiting patiently for the perfect opportunity. When the chance arose to frame Moira for human trafficking as a way to seize the land, he didn't hesitate to take it. After already acquiring Robert Sugden's land through blackmail, Butler's farm is simply the next prize on his list. With Moira now stuck behind bars, the only obstacle left in Joe's path is Cain Dingle. Cain is barely holding everything together, determined to protect the farm while also fighting for his own survival. His control over the property is weakening, yet his pride prevents him from reaching out for support. Lydia Dingle offers to take the boys for a few days to ease his burden, but Cain stubbornly refuses her help. Once she walks away, it becomes painfully obvious how shattered he truly feels. Unfortunately, this vulnerable moment comes just as Joe prepares to intensify his tactics, and Cain will need every ounce of strength, both mentally and physically, to withstand what's coming. Joe's latest maneuver involves calling for a livestock inspection after raising concerns about a possible tuberculosis case. The investigation, and any potential outbreak, would mean no animals could leave the farm until authorities declare it safe. As pressure mounts and the situation worsens, Joe decides it's the ideal time to strike again. With Cain at his lowest point, he repeats his so-called generous proposal to purchase the farm. Luckily for Cain, Matty is standing firmly by his side, determined to keep Butlers running for Moira's sake. The circumstances may be difficult, but they're not yet desperate enough to surrender. Still, there's a strong feeling that Joe's underhanded strategies are only just beginning. The real question is, how much longer can Cain withstand the pressure before he finally breaks? An Emmerdale favourite was forced to apologise after an awkward situation unfolded in Thursday's episode. Love is blossoming in the village for Vinnie Dingle and Lewis Barton, but not everyone was entirely comfortable with how their relationship became public knowledge. Earlier this week, the pair finally gave in to their feelings and shared a passionate kiss, confirming what viewers had suspected for months as their chemistry steadily grew. On Thursday, the couple made things official during a sweet moment at the Hop with Mandy Dingle. Thrilled by the news, Mandy couldn't contain her excitement and loudly confirmed they were together, immediately congratulating them. However, Vinnie quickly urged his mum to lower her voice, worried that his ex-wife Gabby Thomas might overhear. Mandy insisted she was simply happy to celebrate some good news, but it soon became clear that Gabby had indeed heard, and she didn't look impressed. Later, Vinnie apologized to Gabby for Mandy's over-the-top reaction, not wanting to cause her any pain. Gabby handled the situation maturely, reminding him that they live in the same village and are bound to cross paths. Though she assured Vinnie she was happy for him and Lewis, a hint of sadness showed. Vinnie and Gabby had married in 2025 after planning a future together with her son, Thomas, but their relationship ended weeks later, following Gabby's confession that she had been unfaithful while Vinnie was questioning his sexuality. Now, it seems they have moved forward amicably. Viewers were divided, with some criticising Mandy's lack of sensitivity, while others praised her enthusiastic support of Vinnie and Lewis's new romance. Emmerdale airs weekdays on ITV and ITVX.